Okay, we're going to continue with this problem that we started today in class, Chapter 7, Problem PA7-1, where we calculate cost of goods sold and ending inventory using the various cost flow assumptions for inventory. Those cost flow assumptions, again, are first in, first out, which is the one we worked on today. This was our ending inventory. This was our cost of goods sold. And this was the amount of cost of goods available for sale, which is a total of the cost of goods that we did not sell plus the cost of goods that we did sell. Before we left for the day, I wanted to make a point that for each of the four different cost flow assumptions, the amount of cost of goods available for sale will not change. That is always the same. And I'm trying to illustrate that here on the spreadsheet over on the right side. Um, we're going to work on the LIFO calculations in this video. But notice all I've done here in setting up this spreadsheet is copy the information that's already given in the problem. And again, to review, we got the beginning inventory, 2,300 units at $60 each for a total of $138,000. Now, this is a calculation that I made. And then the purchase in January, 3,500 units at $72 each, total of $252,000. And again, this is a calculation I just did. The sale on March 14th, I'm just showing that we sold 1,950 units. Purchase on May 1st, again, was 2,200 units at 90 for a total of 198,000. And again, this is another calculation that I just made. And then finally, the sale on August 31st, 2,400 units. Now, if we add down this column of units, which is our quantity, we end up with 3,650 units, which would be what is left in the inventory. We started with 2,300. We had a couple of purchases and a couple of sales, which show as subtractions. I should probably format these numbers differently so that the amounts, the negative amounts are easier to see. There we go. So we can see that we sold 1950 and 2400. And that leaves us with 3,650, which is the quantity on hand in the ending inventory. Over in the total cost column, these are dollar amounts. And so I should probably format those amounts so that it's easier to tell that those are dollar amounts. We have the commas in there now. Um, Now, to apply LIFO to this situation, remember, first in, first out, FIFO assumes that the earliest units that we had, which would be the beginning inventory, are the first units that we sold, and we work our way down this schedule. LIFO, on the other hand, last in, first out, which is the costing assumption we're going to work with now, assumes the opposite. It assumes the last purchased inventory is the first sold. So again, this problem assumes a periodic inventory system, And the information, the costing assumption is applied at the end of the accounting period, which would be at the end of the year. So at the end of the year, we see that our cost of goods available for sale is $588,000. Now, this is the same amount that we've already put in here from today. And again, we get this amount by taking our beginning inventory and adding the amounts of our two purchases. So what we had plus what we bought gives us the total that we have available to sell. And again, to repeat one of the things we said today, what we have available to sell at the end of the period is either sold or not sold. And again, if that inventory that was sold, the cost of that inventory ends up in cost of goods sold, and that inventory that was not sold, the cost of that inventory ends up in the ending inventory. Okay, so let's take a look at applying LIFO. Now we had a sale at August 31st, and that sale was for 2,400 units. And so with LIFO, last in, first out, we assume that we start at the bottom and work our way up. And so our sale at August 31st, 2,400 units, is made up of the 2,200 units that we bought on May 1, and that's at a cost of $90 each, plus to make up the difference we need another 200 units, and those units would come out of the purchase on January 30th. This 3,500 units, we need 200 of this batch to make up the difference for that sale. And so those 200 units were at $72 per unit. So if we were to do these calculations and add them up, let me see if I can do that down here. 2,200 at 90, and let's see, 200 at 72. And so if we did this calculation, taking the units, multiply by the cost, 198,000, and again for the second calculation, taking the units and multiplying by the cost, 14.4. And so we need to add these two together. So we would take the 198 and add the 14.4 to get a total of 212.4. And so the cost of that sale is $212,400. Now moving up to the next earlier sale on March 14, that sale was for $1,950. I'm sorry, 1,950 units. So which units would we have sold uh, on March 14? We've already assumed that all of this purchase on May 1st has been sold, and 200 units. I need to show that somehow. That's going to be kind of hard to do, but because it's going to automatically change this number on the bottom. So we just need to know that of this 3,500 units purchased on January 30th, 200 have already been sold, assumed sold. And so we have 3,300 left. And so all of the this 1,950 units is going to come out of this batch of 3,500 that we paid $72 each for. And so that calculation is a little bit easier to do if we take the 1950 and the 72 and then take the quantity and multiply by the cost. Then we can see that that sale is costed at $140,400. And so if we were to add up our two cost of sale calculations, let's see, this one plus this one, that total is 352.8. And let's date this as the 8/1/831 sale, and this one as the 3/14 sale. And so this would be the total cost of sales. And if we show these two amounts up here in this total cost column, then we can see at the end of the period, we can take this cost of goods available for sale out, because then what we have at this point in time on the bottom line would be ending inventory in units and ending inventory in dollars. And so I think we have all the information that we need here. So if we go to our connect problem and take this information for each of these two variables, we can see that our cost of goods sold is 352.8, and so we'll put that in 352.8, and our ending inventory is 235.2. And of course the next step is to check this out, and hopefully we'll find that that information is correct, and it is. And so I hope you've followed what we just did. Again, we did the FIFO in class today. I know that was pretty difficult to follow. We did it pretty quickly. I just wanted to follow through with the LIFO, which we just did here with the calculations showing here on the spreadsheet. I think it might be helpful to kind of complete this information here. What are the units left in our ending inventory? Well, we sold all of these 2,200 on this August sale, and we sold 200 of this 3,500. in the August sale, so we had 3,300 left. And then in the March sale, we sold 1950. So if we started out with 3,500 and sold 200 in August, and then sold another 1950 in March, then that would give us 1350 at 72 left, plus the 2300 in the beginning inventory at a unit cost of $60. So why don't we put this up here, ending inventory in units. Okay. And then we can calculate these two amounts. Take the units times the cost, and copy that formula down here, and then we can add the two together. And what should this amount be? This should be the dollar amount of our ending inventory, which should be this 235.2, and sure enough it is. So we're okay on that. Okay, and same for the units here. We could also do the same thing if we added the units available. I'm sorry, the units in the ending inventory. Uh, let's get a little darker shade of gray. Here we go. Yeah, and we can see that units as well as dollars are in agreement for our calculations. As far as cost of goods sold, I think hopefully that's a little bit easier to see there. And that's it for the LIFO calculations. I'm going to process this video and send it out. And if there are any questions about what we did here, then just email me when you can, and we can talk about whatever your questions you may have. I hope this helps with this chapter material. It's a difficult chapter, but we'll get through it and continue to move forward. Aloha.